the original creator, a being so vast that when he shattered, the remnants birthed the gods themselves. This was not just an act of destruction, but division, a schism of his very essence. In Lord of the Mysteries, divinity is not singular. It is a split between two entities who represent the opposing forces that sustain reality. God Almighty, the Yang, and the Lord of the Mysteries, the Yin. This is not a mere duality of good and evil. It is the tension between absolute control and boundless transformation, between the lawgiver and the trickster, the sun and the void, the sound of divine command and the silence of the unknown. Today we will explore why divinity cannot be whole without both. At the heart of this division lies an ancient concept, yin and yang. Yin is darkness, coldness, and silence, an elusive force that governs the unknown, the hidden, and the ever-changing. Yang is light, warmth, and sound, the absolute force of order, clarity, and authority. The Lord of the Mysteries embodies the former, God Almighty the latter, and between them lies the question, what is a God without its opposite? The Lord of the Mysteries is the God of secrets and perception, of veiled truths and unseen possibilities. He is not an entity of radiant divinity, but of whispers and shifting realities. His very existence rejects the idea of absolute dominion, instead embracing the fluid, the uncertain, and the deceptive. To be a fool is to see what others do not. Mysteries, perception, history, and transformation. These are not just the authorities of the fool, but the essence of the yin force. Yin does not declare, it reveals. It does not command, it manipulates. This is why the Lord of the Mysteries is a God of layers, of hidden meanings behind illusions, of truths that shift when seen from another angle. Even history is not absolute under his gaze. It is malleable, a narrative that bends as it is interpreted. He does not illuminate truth, but buries it in paradoxes, ensuring that true power lies not in knowing, but in understanding what is unknowable. Space, like mystery, is not to be grasped, but to be traversed. The door represents barriers, limits, the unseen pathways between worlds. Unlike the omnipotence of Yang, which seeks to command all, the Lord of the Mysteries exists between the cracks of reality, moving effortlessly through its walls. To be yin is to be the void between things, to be silent while others speak, distant while others draw close. This is why he seals rather than destroys, containing what must not be released rather than eradicating it outright. His power is subtle, unseen, yet undeniable. Deception is the essence of yin, not because it is falsehood, but because it allows for multiplicity. There is no single truth under the Lord of the Mysteries. Time itself shifts, rewinds, repeats, rejecting linearity in favor of uncertainty. The trickster deity does not seek to illuminate. He seeks to distort and confound. A true God is not just an emperor, he is also the magician, the illusionist, the enigma. This is what makes the Lord of the Mysteries not merely a God of knowledge, but a God of knowing what cannot be known. If the Lord of the Mysteries is the hidden, God Almighty is the revealed. He is Yang in its purest form, omnipotence, light, authority. He does not bend reality, he defines it. To be God Almighty is to bear responsibility. The hangman represents the burden of rulership, the necessity of sacrifice, the inevitability of decline. Unlike the Lord of the Mysteries, who exists outside the system, God Almighty is the system. This is why Yang is not free. It dictates, it structures, but in doing so, it is bound by its own laws. The price of omnipotence is being trapped by one's own decrees. Light does not allow for shadows, and God Almighty is the sun that permits no darkness. Unlike the Lord of the Mysteries, who thrives in ambiguity, God Almighty seeks clarity, total understanding, and absolute dominion over all knowledge. Yang does not whisper, it proclaims. It does not hide, it exposes. To be the sun is to be unable to retreat, to stand at the pinnacle of truth, unable to deny or obscure. If the Lord of the Mysteries is a trickster, God Almighty is a conqueror. His divinity is not hidden within the fabric of reality, it dominates it. He does not move between the cracks, he seals them shut. The tyrant pathway reveals the fundamental flaw of pure Yang. It cannot tolerate chaos, it must control all. Yet in trying to enforce order, it invites rebellion. A God who commands all will always be opposed by one who defies all. Where the Lord of the Mysteries embraces the unknown, God Almighty rejects it. To be omniscient is to have no mystery left to uncover, no surprise left to experience. This is why omniscience is not freedom, but a prison. It is knowing everything, but being unable to change anything. A God who is only omnipotent is stagnant. A God who is only a trickster is powerless. The original creator was both, and when he divided, so too did the nature of divinity. This is why neither God Almighty nor the Lord of the Mysteries is complete. One enforces order, the other bends it. One rules by decree, the other by perception. Divinity is not about choosing between yin and yang. It is about existing as both. To be a god is not just to rule, but to deceive, to learn, to evolve, to embrace both the clarity of the sun and the silence of the void. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like and subscribe for more analyses of your favorite novels.